Hello everyone, AutumnSeeker here, and welcome to Let's Look at Crypt of the NecroDancer. So, if you guys are not familiar with the term Let's Look At, it basically refers to a quick look or an impressions video. This is where I will be kind of talking about a game, and in this case it's Crypt of the NecroDancer. And basically I'll be giving you my impressions of the game and telling you how I feel about it. The difference between this and an actual review would be that a reviewer would have to play the game throughout, and this is more of me giving you tips of whether or not you'd want to buy this game and whether or not this game is for you. This kind of gives you just a little bit of a taste of what the actual gameplay is like in the first few levels. Crypt of the NecroDancer is a great game. I've actually been really enjoying my time with it so far. It was released in 2015. It's really one of the best. It probably had one of the best soundtracks of 2015, and that's saying something. It's made by Brace Yourself Games. Actually, they're a Canadian developer. I believe they're based out of Vancouver. And I will say that my commentary is done in post because this game is so. The rhythm. I can't talk and do like a rhythm game at the same time. It's very difficult to keep my flow and keep the rhythm at the same time. And also, I'm not great at rhythm games, so. Yeah, like, again, I kind of struggled starting to play this game, but I feel like anybody who has a natural tendency to want to play rhythm games will definitely get a big kick out of this game. So we're going to be loading right into the game right about now. As you can see, we're actually not playing as the regular player character, we're playing as a Ness mod, and I actually found it kind of cool. The modding community is actually kind of, it's thriving, and a lot of people really like to make player skins for the character, and with the actual style, it actually really benefits from having that be a factor, because like you can pretty much make whatever kind of, you can pretty much make whatever type of character you really want, and pixel art is definitely not easy to do, but it can be easy to replicate. Like the original thought obviously isn't easy, but yeah, being able to replicate it is, it can be easy to copy. This is the shopkeeper. He's actually like really interesting. He will sing along with the songs in each level. A lot of people love him, but honestly, I think this might just be me because I haven't really heard anybody else complain about it. But whenever I like hear him and whenever he comes in, I almost always lose my coin multiplier. And as you can probably see right here, the coin multiplier will basically activate like a disco floor on the level, which is pretty cool. If you don't like the effect, you can also turn it off. This game is extremely customizable. We'll go over that a little bit later. But yeah, so it's a basic it's kind of like a basic roguelike. You move around in a I was gonna say like, oh man, that Minotaur is really coming after me. But yeah, no, it's like a basic roguelike. You move against I died obviously. But you move around, and when you like say you're going up against an enemy, you continue pressing down, and that's how you attack. The combat is very simple, but I think, and with most roguelikes, it is very simple, and oftentimes roguelikes benefit not from like basically twisting what roguelikes actually are, and like in this time roguelikes are super popular. So yeah, it adds a rhythm element, which actually adds like a whole bunch of challenge to the game, because you can't really move, and I haven't really talked too much about like how you actually move around in the game. So like again, you move around, like you can only move up, down, and left and right. There's no like diagonal movement, but you have to move along with the rhythm. And it can actually be hard. Like just there, I lost my multiplier because if you move along, and you kill an enemy to the beat, you'll see that the disco floor starts. And if you get off the beat at any time, you'll actually lose. You'll lose your bonus, and it can be really devastating. also it affects your gameplay a lot later as well, because again, you can't move if you're not going according to the beat. Sometimes you'll press like if you're off the beat, you can actually just completely stop, and that can be really it can be really punishing when you're actually going up against a big crowd of room. It can get you killed really quickly. So I just picked up a diamond there, and you can see that when I first started out, I had a very few amount of hearts. This is a later playthrough that I actually got a little bit farther in. You use diamonds to unlock permanent upgrades to your character. It's very similar to for roguelikes nowadays to have that kind of thing. It's a lot like Rogue Legacy in that you can upgrade your starting area, and we'll be seeing that in a bit. And as you can hear, the starting music changes each time you go down a level. It's weird because I actually got really tired of listening to the first track. It's actually very slow, and honestly, each track kind of gets more and more epic as the farther you go down. I really like this track and the next floor's track. And something I'll mention here while we can listen to this guy sing. There's also another feature, and I actually did my due diligence and checked it out. You can actually replace the songs in the game with your own songs, and it'll actually check out it'll get the rhythm of the song, and with that you can basically play whatever song you want. And I think that actually totally adds to the replayability of the game, because you can probably play this game forever as long as you don't get tired of the aesthetic. And honestly, the aesthetic is really, really good. It's cartoony, but in a way that just kind of makes it a little bit timeless. It's not like the most graphically impressive game I've ever seen, but definitely not the worst. It's something that it's not bad to look at, and honestly, with the disco floor, I thought that would actually really bug me, but it really actually doesn't get in the way too much. Yeah, no, I was playing some Red Hot Chili Peppers because I was like, oh man, I wonder if I can keep that bass line, and I did, and it was actually a lot of fun. Alright, you can see that there's a boss at the end of each floor. You have to beat the boss to actually progress. This is as you can hear, each beat gets a lot quicker and quicker. This is, again, another quicker beat. I picked up the glass spear. So there's different types of weapons that you can pick up in the game as well. I haven't really been going over that, but the spears can attack one. As you can see, you don't have to be right next to your enemy to attack. And the broadswords can attack in an arc. Again, very simple things that we've seen in roguelikes before, but again, using them to your advantage in this roguelike is a lot more difficult. Alright, actually, I'm trying to avoid that manhole cover, as you can kind of see. If you go down that, you'll actually go down to the next level, and that's something you really don't want to do, because you want to pick up as much gold as possible and try to get as many advantages from the shopkeeper as you can. There's a lot of hidden secrets on each level as well. You can bomb certain areas. As you can see, you can take advantage of the whole digging aspect, and yeah, I just killed that Minotaur. But you can see the whole digging aspect. There's a lot of secret areas in each level, and you get a shovel at the beginning of your playthrough. As you can see, I'm kind of trying to shovel through that area. I can use my bomb to bomb through that cracked wall there, like a lot of, again, modern roguelikes. I think, I mean, they're stemmed from Zelda, but a lot of modern roguelikes have it, and they're kind of based around the Binding of Isaac, that you can just do that. Actually, that was really lucky that I went and found that. Actually, I did blow it up. Alright, so I remember this, and I remember why I put this in. This is a boss fight, and the boss fight, this one, I don't even understand, and you can see it's definitely messed up from the moment I went in. I had no chance. So, I'm trying to, figure out, the actual rhythm, and, this boss is just totally destroying me. I didn't have a chance because I was used to the other boss that we'll be seeing a little bit later, but you'll notice that we die, and with this game, I die a lot, and I'll show you guys some examples of me dying right here. Yep, there we go. And yep, you die. Yep. This is just the stupidest death. Yep, just jump into the thing. This is the shop area where you can buy upgrades for your characters. As you can see, each one has like a certain cost associated with it. So we bought for 1 diamond that one guy. So the farther we get, the more stuff we can buy later. Song ended next level. This is a really cool thing. If you take too long, you'll actually go down to the next level and you'll have to fight the boss in this small enclosed area. And this is a really cool feature because again, you can't take too long in the level. And I think this was a really cool way that they did this, and that's why I really wanted to show it off. And it actually added something really tense, and like getting up and close with this dragon actually freaks me out. It freaked me out more than it should because this dragon's not. There's 2 types of dragons, I believe. There's the red dragon and the green dragon. The green dragon is pretty simple. It's a heavy hitter, but again, you don't have to worry about it. Here's another kind of cool thing. These are the animations of the game. It's the way they tell the story. They really get the job done, and I think it really highlights the fact that this game has actually a lot of character as well. This is the main character who you usually play as. The story doesn't really matter that much, but I think it really... Like, again, like with most roguelikes, you're not really going to be focusing on it too much. You're mostly going to be focusing on the core mechanics of the game. But I think like giving the characters in the game like an actual character makes the game a lot more fun to look at, and it makes it more like not like just aesthetically pleasing, but like say like, look, we just saw the merchant there. He's singing along and people love him because he's such a goofy character, and I think that like I think it helps the game out in the long run. Again, it's not just one note. He's just like an interesting character to see. Now, each enemy, as you can see, has its own pattern. So, like the green slime will just like stay still. The zombie, as you can see, that we just killed, will go in a straight line forward and backward, forward and backward. The skeleton will chase after you, and it'll raise its arms before it attacks. And the blue slime will like move up and down. Again, there's more enemies later. Ghosts will also follow you, by the way. So yeah, as long as you remember them, it's easy. If this were just like a regular roguelike, this would be one of the easiest roguelikes I think I've ever played. But because there's this really prominent like music beat aspect, and the fact that if you're not on your toes, you will get killed really quickly. And I think it's a really cool way to balance the game, and like if they made it any harder, I think it'd almost be impossible, and like the skill floor would be way too high. So again, they switch music every single time, and you can again set whatever music you want. So yeah, you get upgrades from shops, all stuff like that. Like we got the monocle. The monocle will let us see what's actually in each individual chest, which is super helpful. I've actually found that the monocle is one of the best upgrades that you can get. And as you can see, the more we progress, you'll see like mightier versions of each enemy. So that was a yellow slime that goes around in a square, but it only has 1 health. We also hit an interesting square that like could only be used in this type of game. We hit a slow down the beat square, so that those squares, if you hit them, I think if you're not on your toes enough, that could easily kill you in certain situations. There's both slow down the beat squares and I think fast. There's one that will like up the tempo of the song, and that can mess you up easily. It's kind of like a roll with the punches sort of thing. If you can do it, like you could probably use it to your advantage. You can probably use like the slower one to make yourself think about things more. Because that's what I find, like a big problem that I have like later in the game is that I will get overwhelmed in like a big room and just not know what to do. All right, I guess I picked up the blood spear, got the diamond. There's that monkey. Monkeys are annoying. They'll like if they grab onto you, it'll take like 4 hits to get out of there, and if there's any other enemy, you're fudged. All right. You can, again, as I said, you can pick your own music, but oftentimes, actually, like, this music is great. I've, like, a lot of the end of the year lists that I was, like, looking at for 2015 they either mentioned or they flat out gave the music to Crypt of the NecroDancer. It doesn't... The first song, since I've heard it so much, because, again, this game was really hard for me to get into, because I'm, again, not great at rhythm games. It's not something that I have innately, but I put the money in and I didn't want to refund it. I just wanted to give this game its due diligence and, you know, check it out. And I'm so happy that I did, by the way. But again, this game was hard for me to get into. But I think for, like, just fans of rhythm games and people who have a good natural sense of rhythm, this will come really easily. And I think with the customizable sound, with the customizable music, I think this could be a game that you'd be playing for a really long time. Sorry about that. Alright, so the Minotaur is... Oh, yep, get out of the way of that. Yeah, Minotaurs are a big example of how the beat is really important for you to... For gameplay, because again, the Minotaurs move really fast, and if you're not like on the ball and following the beat, because like again, you have to follow the beat, but the enemy has to follow the beat as well, and that's kind of like the way things go. And oftentimes you can outmaneuver your enemies because your character will move faster, because sometimes the enemies will have to skip a beat. But anyway, this is a boss fight, and I thought this boss fight was really good. This one I kind of understood a little bit more. I think it was because like I wasn't immediately bombarded with like a bunch of enemies. Like I could easily see that the Grim Reaper is coming after me, and it said when I tried to attack him that I was blocked by his shield. So it's easy, you gotta get him from the side. And now he doesn't have the shield, but he starts summoning skeletons. I actually found this boss... It was hard but interesting, and I think that's like all we can really ask from a lot of bosses. I thought this was it was interesting. Like it wasn't again groundbreaking, and I haven't seen any of the bosses in the later game, which I would imagine would be a lot better. But I thought this was a really good first floor boss, and it really challenged my skill, and in a way that I think was really beneficial. I also think that using the enemies from the floor, and like especially the more challenging enemies from the floors, is a really good way to kind of like I think it's really good boss design, because you're using the knowledge that you just attained from fighting these guys before in the actual boss fight itself. So you're gonna have to like try to maneuver your way around these skeletons while still trying to attack him. It's applying new knowledge and using old knowledge, which I think is really novel. Yeah, this boss fight was incredibly tense for me at the time. And we actually won there. And it was actually kind of incredible, because I actually had never beaten that boss before, and I beat it on camera. So, Crypt of the NecroDancer, what are my final thoughts? I think I've been pretty open with it throughout the actual Let's Look At. I really, really enjoy Crypt of the NecroDancer. I don't think it'll be my be-all, end-all for roguelikes. There are some that I really like a lot more, but it's really novel. It's one of the few rhythm games that I really like. I think it's because I actually like roguelikes, and I think it's the best at what it is right now, because I don't think there's anything really like it. If you're interested in playing the game, if you like roguelikes and you like rhythm games, then I think this is a definite buy. I think it's like usually like $15 probably, around that amount. I think I got it on sale for like $7, and $7 was totally worth the price of admission already. I've already spent a ton of time with it. With like most roguelikes, if you want to play it for like 10 minutes you can, or you can play it for like a few hours if you're really into it. But yeah, that just about sums it up. I really enjoy the game. I think if this doesn't seem like your cup of tea, don't get it. If you like rhythm games and you like roguelike and you like what you see, definitely pick it up. It's great. But that's it. This has been AutumnSeeker's Let's Look At of Crypt of the NecroDancer. If you like this video, subscribe, thumbs up, all that jazz, and see you guys next time.